Hey kids, welcome back to Worth the Spin. The new and used record sign is on. That means we are open for business. New and used records is our specialty. I'm Jack. I'm your host here. Welcome back to Worth the Spin. Really, not new records. We don't have a lot of new records. We don't have any new records today. We have just used records. And let me tell you, the used records are as good as the new records. All right, so not a lot of pressing things on the Beatles front. Having done, got to do a lot of searching, been a little slow, had a lot of things going on last week, this week, and probably not going to get anything until this weekend. This Sunday, there's a record show coming up, so I'm looking forward to that. That one's closer to home, and I hear it's jam-packed, a lot bigger than the other one I usually go to is, so we'll see how that works. I did get 2 new additions to the Beatles Flag series. As you know, I've been working on that. I kind of tapered off of it. Things kind of got bottlenecked there for a while. So anyway, I did pick up 2 more, trying to slowly now get that collection filled out. So I picked up something new. This is the American pressing. And unfortunately, these are not red vinyl because red vinyl is too expensive for me. At 100 plus, I can't afford the red vinyl ones. So we're going with the regular Apple ones, and they're just fine enough because they sound fan-doodly-tastic. Your inside, yeah, I know it's a gatefold cover for something new. I was a little surprised. I didn't see that coming. And then we have I won't take it out. We know what it looks like. Fantastic, it does. That's your Apple label version. These are both 76 releases, and they sound fan-doodly-tastic. Yes, fan-doodly is a word. I looked it up. Okay, I lied. I didn't look it up. But fan-doodly might be a word. I don't know. Anyway, doesn't matter. There we go. So, sounds great. As usual, Japanese pressing. Little to no static. It's just, they sound incredible. So, the other one I picked up is Yellow Submarine. Because we all live in. That's right. And so we're familiar with this. This is the British version. I'm not going to show it back. We got other things to talk about today. But there's the record. So anyway, just letting you know, there's a couple more. I do have a couple more I picked up for the collection to fill it out. All right, so we're going to be talking about another one of my favorite artists today. Even though I don't love all of his albums, all of his work, I love a good majority of it. And I don't have to love all of it to be a fan. I mean, I do the Beatles, unless you count. I don't know. We won't talk about it. Anyway, apologize. I have a very dry throat today and working on some kind of, I don't know, allergy thing or something. I don't know. Anyway, let's keep that moistness going on in there. All right, so we're going to talk about Robert Palmer today. Why? Because I don't have anything Beatle-wise. I am working on something, and we'll see how that comes to fruition, whatever that word is. English is not easy for me. So we'll see how that goes. I'm working on something, and if it works out, I think it's going to be a really good series. You'll enjoy it. If it doesn't work out, hey, you still got me in a room full of stuff talking about the Beatles and other stuff. Because, you know, like I said, that this year we would get more into the core ideal of this channel, and that's talking about records in general, not just Beatle records, but other bands and solo vocalists and stuff of that nature. So we're doing that this time, whatever this video shows up. So we're going to talk about Robert Palmer. So I'm really keen on Robert Palmer. I like Robert Palmer's whole stage presence. I like his music and everything. He was born in England in 1949, Yorkshire. The thing that draws me to him is at a time, and I got into Robert Palmer in the early 80s, and it was around that time of that MTV thing, and you know, we're all doing the MTV thing and watching the same video over and over and over and over and over, and still saying, it's great, man, I love it, yeah. But, so I kind of got into there, and my first thing with Robert Palmer was the clone girls dancing, you know. That was the big thing, and that was one of the videos that was just overplayed. Now you can say it was overplayed, but then you're like, no way, man, I can't see that enough. But you could. Anyway, so yeah, I like Robert, and I like his singing voice, and I like his stage presence, And the fact that, he could do all different styles of music, rock and jazz and blues, and he was dabbling in the kind of the new wave-ish sort of stuff, and he could do kind of everything. And an artist who can do a little of everything, if not everything, I think goes a long way compared to someone who does the same thing all the time. So his first album is Sneaking Sally Through the Alley. Sneaking Sally Through the Alley. Has to be your front cover. Man, sorry. And this is a 1974 release. And this is not an original pressing. This is the reissue. It's on Island Records. This is your back cover. A lot of great stuff on here. The album should have been a bigger hit than what it was. He started out in the late 60s, early 70s as a member of a few different bands. There was one called Vinegar Joe, the Alan Brown Baldwin Set, something like that. And there was one called Dada, D-A-D-A, something to that effect. Then none of them really kind of went anywhere, and he kind of broke off on his own. And, he did this. And it's a fantastic album. It's a great album. I love this album a lot. I think there's a lot of great stuff on here. And I'm sure a lot of Sneaking Sally Through the Alley. But you need to listen to this and some of the other stuff that's on here, man. Hey Julia's fantastic songs. Sailing Shoes. Blackmail. From a Whisper to a Scream. It's all great stuff. It's certainly worth the spend. And I think it's something that if you listen to it, you'll enjoy it. So if you can find this album out in the wild, as we say, pick it up. It's worth listening to. If not, a lot of you do like the streaming thing and stuff, so you could just, stream it, whatever. Takes all the fun out of it if you want to stream it, but that's just me. So after that, I did Pressure Drop in 75, which I don't own. I'm not a big fan of Pressure Drop. He did Some People Can Do What They Like. That was 76. I think there was maybe one or two songs I liked on there, not a whole lot of it. That was one of the ones that unfortunately went when I did the purge of stuff that I'm looking at. I'm like, man, don't know when I listened to this last. Don't know when I'm going to listen to it again. That was kind of one of the casualties of that. He then did Secrets, and I say he did Double Fun in 78, and which was his breakthrough album. And this song was Every Kind of People. That was a pretty big hit for him, Every Kind of People. That was kind of his breakout there, was that. He then did Secrets in 79, which is the next one I own, and I love this record. I think this is a fantastic record. This has a Bad Case of Loving You in it, and lots of other great songs. Jealous, Under Suspicion, Too Good to Be True. This is just a fantastic album. This is your backside with your track listing on there, in case you're wondering. And this is also on Island Records. I know, stop being lazy. Take it out. We can't see it. I get it. There you go. Side A. Side B. And yeah, this is a great album. It's worth the spin. It's one I think you should pick up and listen. At least listen to, because I know a lot of people will tell me I'll stream something first, and if I like it, then I'll pick up the album. Kind of defeats the purpose to me, but I don't know. It's just me. So it's a fantastic album. I highly recommend picking it up. All right. So from that, sorry. He did Maybe It's Live. That was 82. Maybe It's Live was a good record. It wasn't too bad. It was kind of a mixture of live songs with studio songs. And sometimes some of them kind of blended in. You couldn't tell that, the one before it was a live song, and then the one you're listening to was a studio. So that's why it was kind of tagged Maybe It's Live. So that was kind of a cool idea. And I did like that album. It was pretty good. Wasn't one of my big favorite Robert Palmer ones, but it was good. But I tell you what was, and what is one of my favorite ones from 85, it is Power Station. That's right. I'm sorry. And so this is an album. This is a group he put together. And Power Station was studio that they used to record this album, by the way. And that's why it's called a Power Station. They couldn't come up with a good name, so they just said, it's called Power Station. Kind of like the Beatles. It's Abbey Road. We're here recording. This is Abbey Road. It's that Abbey Road. We'll just do that. So this is your backside. And he made this album with John Taylor, Andy Taylor, and Tony Thompson from the Thompson Twins. And the Taylor Brothers from Duran Duran. This was a great album. It was a huge hit. Some Like It Hot, just like burning up the charts. Then their version of Get It On, Bang a Gong, Get It On, whatever, was another big hit. And the story kind of behind it is when they did this album, they wanted different vocalists for the different songs on here. And Robert did, Some Like It Hot, and everybody loved it, of course. How could you not? But he was like looking over the checklist of stuff that they were doing. He's like, can I do Bang a Gong? I kind of like to have a try at that, if you don't mind. I think I could do a fairly decent version of it. And they're like, okay. He did it, and the producer's like, wow, he really nailed that. I think you guys should just use him, period, on every song on the album. And that's what they did, and it turned out fantastic. Unfortunately, when they only did the one album, they decided they wanted to tour it, and Robert just wasn't feeling it. He's like, I don't want to do the tour thing, guys. And I just kind of bow out, and they brought someone else in, whose name I forget at the moment. Probably should remember, but I'm not a big fan of them. And it did a good job of doing the songs, but yeah, Robert Palmer was the core. To me, Robert Palmer is Power Station. I know the 40th anniversary thing is out. I haven't gotten a chance to get it yet. You can't just go to a record store and buy a new release. You can't, no. If it's not Taylor Swift, it's not on the rack. You got to order it. So maybe I'll find it at the record show this weekend for a decent price and get it. I know I do order records. Yeah, I know. Sometimes, I just don't want to order more than I have to through the mail. I don't like that. I just hate that whole thing. I want to buy in the store, but whatever. So, but I am going to get that. So, next up was another, and this I think was a big hit for him, and mainly because it had the videos, the clone girls, dancing and stuff. And that was a cool gimmick. It was a pretty cool idea. I did think that was neat. Who didn't? But I do admit, I think the 2 videos were enough. 1 was like really cool idea. 2 was like, okay. 3 is like, now we're just kind of repeating ourselves. It's not a lot of creativity to it. So, yeah. But anyway, it's still a fantastic album, man. Other than just those 2 songs on here, it's just got all kinds of great stuff on here, man. Riptide, I love the opening track, Riptide. Disciple of Love. Get It Through Your Heart. There's just great stuff on here. This is your back side. It looks a lot like the front side. So, and this is on Island Records also. So, yeah, this is a fantastic album. I love this one a lot. And this definitely should be one that's on your radar if you find it, as we say, out in the wild. If not, on your little streaming service. Then. So, after that, he did his Grammy winning Heavy Nova. There's a reason it's a Grammy album, because it's worth it. It's good. So he did that, and it has Simply Irresistible on there. Again, we have the Clone Girls video, which, not knocking. It's cool. It's a good gimmicky thing. I just, you can do a good thing too much, This is your B-side. It just gives you a track listen. And this would be your record. We switched to EMI records at this time. Okay, I'll take it out. So this has got a messed up label on it, by the way. It's your A side. And this is what's left of your B side. It came that way brand new. Pretty weird, ain't it? I did try to straighten it out once, but it's like glued to the label. So if you try to mess with it, it just messes it up. Doesn't affect play, obviously. So it's just one of those, you produce stuff in mass quantities, that happens. So this is a good album. This is worth the spin. I think all of his albums are worth a spin. Some more than others, and these certainly are. These are just fantastic. These are favorites, and that's why I still have them in my collection. So he also did, before his death in 2003, he did Don't Explain. That was like 90. 92 was Riding High, and then did Honey. And right before he died, he did another album, which I can't remember the name of that one, but that was kind of a big hit because, as usual, when somebody passes away, all of a sudden that album's a big hit. Yeah, that's just kind of how it works. So, but it's good music. I think Robert Palmer was a fantastic performer, and again, one of the things that like drew him to me was not so much when I first called on to him was not the girls dancing in the back, but it was his style. You know, wearing those sharp suits and that crisp voice, and you know his moves. And apologize again, but yeah, it was fantastic. I love Robert Palmer. So another tragic loss of a great time in the music industry. So all his albums are certainly worth the spin. But if you don't want to look for them and put them on a turntable, then you know I know a lot of people do the download thing and stream it, and that's fine. You know, you're paying for it, might as well stream some other stuff other than what you usually listen to, and check it out. But he has some fantastic music, so I don't have a ton on Robert Palmer for you. There wasn't a whole lot personal wise going on with Robert. He's a pretty well behaved feller. There was that big lawsuit for a while from one of his bands trying to sue him, saying that the suits and that was their style for their band, and he stole their style, and that's what made him a big star. And it wasn't. It wasn't. It's just your band was weak, and he was not, and he did better music than you did, and they didn't want to admit that. So, Robert Palmer, certainly worth the spin. I would say check out any of these albums. These albums for sure. And these albums for sure. Got Sally Through the Alley. Still working on English. Secrets. Awesome album. Wow, it'd be nice if you could see it. Secrets. You cannot recognize that cover. Power Station. I am looking forward to the 40th anniversary edition. So I do want to get that and listen to it. Riptide, and this is a great album. Fantastic album. And Heavy Nova, again. It just only got better. I wish that I had listened to more of his late 80s, early 90s stuff before he passed. And I can still, but I've just never gotten around to getting it. You know, we've talked about before, the 90s was kind of a rough time for me. And music kind of took a back burner for me for a while. And CDs were taking over, and it was just crazy. Life was just kind of crazy in the 90s. So I missed out on a lot of things. A lot of it I don't regret missing out on it. Some of it I do. And I can always go back and get those albums, and I do look for them when I go to record stores. But I'm trying to find, you know me, I like to try to find the original pressings and stuff. That's just kind of crazy things that we do when we collect, you know. And check out Robert. I think you'll enjoy his music. It's certainly worth a spin. And, of course, check out these two Beatles. We didn't talk about them much, but there's not much to say. We're all familiar with these two albums and how great they are. So, worth the spin. That's all I can say. They are fantastic. All right, so I'm working on this idea for my next Beatles segment. We'll see how it plays out. Either that'll be coming up next, or we'll talk about somebody else. I'll tell you what. Next person we're going to talk about is going to be Peter Wolf. Because talking about Robert Palmer and his musical style and his stage performance makes me think of Peter Wolf. Crazy, but it does. So we'll talk about Peter next, if nothing else. And his solo work away from Jay Giles. He had fantastic stuff with Jay Giles, but me personally, I think that his solo stuff is I think it's far above his stuff he did with Jay Giles. So it's all certainly worth a spin, and we're going to talk about that too. If not, the next time we will talk about it. Alrighty, so we're done here, it looks like. A little short this time, but, you know, my voice is not working with me the best anyway. I'm getting ready to turn the light off here on the new News Records. And worth the spin. So I've given you a fine selection to check out today. Hope you will make your way to the register with some of those because they are worth it. Other than that, I will see you next time. And as always, sprinkle a little love out there on everybody because the world needs more love. There's no doubt we need love, man. We need it bad. So let's heavily sprinkle that stuff out there, like Parmesan cheese. Just doing a good deed for somebody today. Hey, nice dress. Love your hair. It looks really nice. May I get that door for you? May I buy you a cup of coffee? Whatever. In a drive-through line, pay for the guy behind you his meal. You know, whatever. Just show a little love and a little kindness, and maybe that'll rub off. They'll do the same. Now there's 2 of us out there doing good deeds, and all of a sudden 2 more are doing it. Now it's 4 of us. The next thing you know, by the end of the week, we probably got 10 or 12 people doing a good deed for 10 or 12 people. Well, in turn, the following week will take us up to 48. I think that's new math. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate everybody who tunes into my channel. Thanks for watching. Check out some of this fine music I talked about today, because it all is worth the spend. And as I always say, everything's worth the spend. Doesn't matter what it is. It's the first time you heard it, 10,000th time you heard it, it's worth the spend. Because you never know what you're going to pick up out of a racket. I don't know. I'll take it home and try it. And you do, you're like, wow, wow. So glad I bought that record. Or CD. Or digital download. Whatever. Just keep listening to it and spin it. And remember, if it's worth the spend, keep it in your collection. If it ain't, trade it for something that is. Because if it's just going to sit there and be another number from 500 to 501 albums on that never get listened to, might as well trade it in for one that you are going to. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in again. Appreciate everybody who subscribes. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Just one. 2 would be cheating. Just 1. Maybe subscribe. And I'd love to hear your comments. And that's all I got for you this time. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys. Take care and have a fan-doodly-tastic day. It's a word.